You are seeing this because you are called to have courage in this lifetime. The people who have clicked on this video for this channel, you are resonating with the understanding. You are now understanding that you have been through so much so that you can have courage for your purpose. There are many callings, all right? There is the calling of the rabbi. There is the calling of the homeless person. There is the calling of the chef. There is the calling of the gardener. There is the calling of the speaker. Okay? I want to remind you of someone today. I want you to try to wrap your head around this, because I know that this is where you're going. This is where you're going. This is why you're here. Let's be reminded of Martin Luther King Jr. Now, let's tell it in a more juicy way, a more profound way. Really wrap your head around this. Martin Luther King Jr. was in his early 20s, and he knew his purpose so profoundly that he was fearless. Imagine, because we're facing it today, honey, because this is the reality. So let's go. The courageous ones, we're lighting it up. We're lighting it up. It's time to light the fire in our hearts. Where's our mount of courage? Right here. King Thalamus, this is our courage. Right here, baby. Higher heart, honey. Higher heart, fearlessness. Okay? Imagine your entire race of people enslaved because of the color of their skin. Enslaved. Being hung, killed, segregated completely from society, okay? Now, yes, we can apply this to so many stories, but I want you to just wrap your head around this. Just wrap your head around it, okay? During that time, I don't care who you are right now. Just let yourself sink that in, okay? This being in his early 20s said, no, I know my purpose, and my purpose is to embody power for love, for change. And guess what? He was so courageous, and he trusted his connection with his higher power, his higher self, so thoroughly that when he was put in Birmingham jail, and I want to remind you, you can buy books that he wrote during his time. There are 9 of them. I highly recommend the book Letters from Birmingham Jail. Martin Luther King Jr. wrote this, and it is life-changing. His mugshot to get into jail was this. His eyes were on fire. He was sure. He knew right before. So he was sentenced to jail, and he was quoted saying, by the time I'm out, the lives of black citizens will change forever. And it is true. To read the Letters from Birmingham Jail, you will have an understanding of the clarity of truth that Martin Luther King Jr. had. Now let me tell you something about truth. Truth has nothing to do with good or evil. Truth has nothing to do with sides. Truth cannot be argued, because whenever it is filled with an understanding for the greatest and highest good of all, it cannot be disputed. And if others attempt to dispute it, they look futile. It's embarrassing, whether they're aware of it or not. But most everyone can see, like, this man speaks truth. There's no way that we can end this argument. There's no way. I want to remind you of something else. Martin Luther King Jr., and then we're going to go into the channeling, okay? Martin Luther King Jr. was friends and kept close relations with people that were not Christian, but that were on the same path of peace and love and freedom for all. Now, what does that say? He respected himself and he respected the truth, okay? He was close friends and had great relations with beings. He worked with people that were, for example, a Quaker. I don't know if you've heard of Quakerism, but it's an interesting thing. You can look into it. But many different types of beings he was friends with. Why? Because what matters, and this is a reminder, what matters is the greatest and highest truth, okay? This is what we're getting at here. We're getting at courage to speak it. Speak it. Who has told you that you cannot use your voice? Let yourself feel how ridiculous that is. You have clicked on this video because you're meant to use your voice in this lifetime. And you know that. You're meant to use it with courage. You're meant to stand for truth. And I'm going to tell you right now, you are going to be prepared for this. You have been prepared for this, and it's going to get more and more intense, where you will have situations where it calls for great courage, where every situation that you see the paradox so deeply. You're like, oh my God. But honey, guess what? And I know you know this because you're here. There's that third choice. There's always the two choices that we think that we have because we've been indoctrinated that. But no, there is the third choice, which opens up every other possibility, which is your center, which is your truth, which is indisputable. And to do so in love, in clarity, with fire, with pure courage and confidence. There is an ability to be humble and confident. The reason why we stay humble is because we know the nature of life. Go outside for a day, live in the wilderness for a day, 3 days, a month, a year. You'll know what it's like. Humility does not mean being okay with people spitting in your face, but that's part of it, right? But at its deeper level, humility is a deeper understanding of why you are here. Okay? That why outweighs any small little argument you could get in with others, any wormhole of being distracted from your purpose. Now is a time, and this is what is coming through so clear. Do not allow yourself to get distracted, and do not allow little things to bother you so much that you forget why you're here. You are here to use your voice, so start practicing it. Have the audacity to speak your truth in every situation. Start practicing it. It may seem little, and you may get inspired, and you're just like, why am I inspired to do this, but I have to do it? It's like filling my body with fire. And you still might not know, but guess what? You're being primed. You are learning. You are growing. You are practicing. You have to practice everything. I think some people are just born with courage, but you still have to practice courage in order for you to have more confidence in it. Now remember, now let's get into the body science of it, okay? So, right here, see this area of your throat? Go beneath it, right here. On the top of your breastplate, that's thalamus, king thalamus, right? The thymus gland. So the thymus gland is an area that whenever we are around like 8 years old, it's at its largest. It's a literal gland. Okay? And it starts shrinking in this day and age, in this last like 50 years, with the research that we've done, it shows that it shrinks if you don't use it. If you don't stimulate it, it shrinks to a very, very, very small size by the time you're 14 years old. Okay? All throughout ancient history, this is your area of the higher heart. This is your area of courage. Guess what courage means? Courage means vulnerability. Courage means truth. You might cry. You might tremble. Your knees might be weak, but keep practicing. Keep going, because that is what changes things. That's what shakes things up. That's what inspires others. Even if they might be laughing in your face or getting upset or getting uncomfortable, it is still setting the seed and inspiring others to do the same. Do you know what courage is? You know your heart chakra right here? You got your throat chakra right here, these energy centers. Courage is right in the middle. Heart, throat, courage, your higher heart. It is connecting your heart with your throat. It's speaking from your heart. Courage is speaking from your heart. And guess what? Your heart is on fire. Your heart is warm. It pumps warm blood, warm red blood through your veins. Call on the energy of the sun. Remember who you are, and you already know it. It is time.